So today is June 9th, 2014. Sayadaw going to give Dhamma talk on a discourse on sleepiness called Pasalaya Mana Sutra to the yogi who devoted their time and energy to the practice of liberation. As mentioned in the last Dhamma talk, the Venerable, the would-be Sariputta and Moggallana, they were in search of liberation out of the torturous cycle of birth and death. So the two people, they met the Assaji, Venerable Assaji, the youngest among the first five disciples of the Buddha. So Venerable Assaji very brief Dhamma talk, gave very brief Dhamma talk to the Sariputta, who be Sariputta, regarding or expressing the Four Noble Truths. Then on that very spot, there would be Sariputta Upadesa, attained the first stage of enlightenment called Sotapaddi Magga. So that he attained the unshakable faith in triple gem and in karma and karmic results and morality. He became well established in virtue and morality. So that for further practice or further development of the higher spiritual achievement, the Venerable Sariputta, the Upadesa and Kolita, they took the intensive retreat. So during their intensive retreat, within a week, their Upadesa or Kolita, he encountered the sleepiness. Regarding his sleepiness, the Buddha gave the guideline to overcome sleepiness. So we normally sleepy and dozing and drowsy when we are very tired and fatigued or sometimes hungry, and we normally encounter we call Tina Metta in the sloth and torpor. And to make ourselves active and alert, or to make ourselves fresh, the Buddha came over and gave this guideline. So the Upadesa Kolita, he practiced meditation very seriously, sitting, standing, or walking all the time. He made great effort in the meditation practice. So he became very tired and sleepy and nodding. So the Buddha, he lived somewhere far away, but he saw his disciple nodding, sleepy and nodding, through the divine eyes or psychic eyes. So here, Deva Jagu in Pali means divine eyes. So through which the Buddha can see very small, minute, or something or someone very far away. And also the Buddha can see someone personalities, something like this, through these divine eyes. So exercising this divine power, the Buddha saw the Kolita practicing and sleepy and nodding in the scope of the divine eyes. So the Venerable Upadesa and Kolita, he is sleepy. So the Buddha with exercising the psychic power, he came over to the Moggallana, and like the very fast, like the stretching the arms, he right away appeared in front of the Moggallana and asked questions. Hey Moggallana, are you sleepy? Are you nodding? And then Moggallana answered, yes, Venerable Sir. So we most yogis also encounter the sleepiness and nodding during the intensive retreat. Sometimes we have hard time in noting the object clearly. So the rising, falling, or the abdomen, or many other objects are not very obvious to us. Mind is wandering, so and sometimes we tired and hungry, and then we start to nodding. We start nodding. And as according to the commentary, when there are many unpleasant sensations, and also the objects are not obvious, then our mental phenomena, our mind become weak, and concentration become weak, and then we start to sleepy. We start to be sleepy and nodding. So it is expressed as a kapimetta in Pali, the nodding like a monkey. So monkey really lying down, they sit and nod when they sleep. And in the same way, the yogis is when tired, they nodding and their body swaying side by side, and sometimes they hit their head into the floor, something like this. The yogi, their physical condition is swaying side by side. So in the same way, Venerable Moggallana also encountered this problem, very tired and nodding. So the Buddha saw his disciple being very tired and nodding. So out of compassion, the Buddha came over and appeared in front of the Venerable Moggallana and gave advice. Moggallana, are you sleepy and nodding? Then you should change the contemplation, the object of contemplation or meditative object. You should not contemplate the object that makes you sleepy. You should change the contemplation. So when we are sleepy, we should change our perception, tenya, or the contemplation. That means we have to know the other objects. And then we may overcome the sleepiness. But sometimes we may not overcome sleepiness by that way. So the Buddha gave another advice, another thing to do. So the Buddha said, Moggallana, if you are still sleepy, even though you change your contemplation, and then you may recite, you may do chanting or reciting mentally, not verbally, not turning papers, making noise. For example, you may contemplate or recite like Ekayano, Ayam Bhikkhave, Mago, Sadhana, Visuddhiya, Soka Padidevanam, Samadhikamaya, Dukkha Domanasana, Atinkamaya, Nyayasa Adhikamaya, Nibbanasa, Sachikriyaya, and so on. So that please recite mentally without making noise. Please maintain the noble silence all the time. So first we have to change the meditative object, and then we have to recite what we have learned by heart, the Dhamma. So here in this regard, Venerable Moggallana, he had to learn something by heart from Venerable the Assaji, the first Dhamma piece of Dhamma, he learned from Venerable Assaji. Ye Dhamma, he Dopa Bhawa, Tesan, he Dong, Tathagato, Aha, and so on. So he may recite this piece of Dhamma that he had learned from Venerable Assaji. So the Buddha instructed, if he could not overcome the sleepiness and also still nodding, then the Buddha gave the third method to analyze the Dhamma what he had learned before. So he learned the Dhamma. He should analyze the Dhamma in detail, and then he will overcome the sleepiness. This is the third method to overcome the sleepiness given by the Buddha. If he cannot overcome the sleepiness by doing the chanting or the reciting, the Buddha advised to analyze the Dhamma he had learned and in detail. So Dhamma to analyze in detail means to analyze the dukkha, the suffering, mental and physical suffering, and the cause of suffering, that is tanha, attachment. So attachment is the main source of the suffering. And so the method to overcome the suffering is the development of mindfulness. 4 kinds of mindfulness. Mindfulness of body, mindfulness of feeling, mindfulness of mind, and mindfulness of Dhamma. So by developing 4 kinds of mindfulness, we can overcome the attachment and we can be liberated out of the cycle of suffering. So the Buddha advised him to analyze the Dhamma in detail in this way. So everything, mental and physical phenomena, arise and pass away. Nothing is permanent. Everything changing and impermanence. Analyzing Dhamma in this way in detail, you may become active and fresh. So this is the method we can apply to overcome sleepiness. So for normal yogi, for most of us, we may not have anything to recite. We may not have anything we ever learn by heart. And then what to do? And we may not have something Dhamma to analyze. And then what we have to do? In this regard, the Buddha gave the 4th method to overcome the sleepiness. So this is quite simple. You pull your ears, and you rub your face, or you may massage your body and stretching and something like this. This is quite simple, and you can overcome sleepiness. So here yogi may try this method, but many of us may feel ashamed of pulling our ears in front of the people. So we don't want to be looked down by other yogis, being sleepy and nodding. So here the 5th method, the 5th method the Buddha gave us to overcome sleepiness. It is to open our eyes and see the directions here and there. In the daytimes, we can open our eye and see here and there. We can see trees, and or in the sky we can see cloud, something like this. In the night time, we may look into the skies and see the moon and the stars. So in this way, we can overcome sleepiness. So you may try this method too. So when we get tired during the practice, so our face is no longer clear, and then the heat maybe came out the whole body. And at that time, it's a good idea to wash our face. So that's why the Buddha advised us to wash our face and then to look, to open the eye and let the light come in. So that's what we call the perception or light. So this perception or light means the washing our face and looking into the sky. We see the trees and mountain and a cloud. And at night time we can see moon and the stars. So in this way we can overcome the sleepiness. So the number 6, the method to overcome sleepiness is to keep our eyes open. Mostly when it's dark and then we may feel sleepy. So that we have to keep our eyes open. Even the night, even though it's very dark, we should regard as if it were in daytime. So nowadays there are many electric lights brighten the whole night. So whether there is enough light, bright, or the dark, when we are really tired or fatigue, we really sleepy and nodding. So the one good advice is to keep our eye open or half open. And here in this regard, the perception or light is a method to the 6th method to overcome the sleepiness. It is to think about the light, even though the night we think about as it were at night, at daytime, by daytime. And another definition is the perception or light refer to the light we experience through the strong concentration, like the metta, loving kindness meditation, and a kasina, something like this. If we have ever developed metta until we experience the light, the meditation generated light. And a kasina, the meditative object, we focus on that and then develop concentration until we experience the concentration generated light, illumination. And if we have ever developed that kind of the meditated bright light, the Buddha advised to develop that light again, that kind of illumination again. And also we are advised, unless we have that kind of life, unless we have that kind of light, we should contemplate, we should make ourselves feel as if we were under the bright light, as if we were in daytime, even though we are at night. So that's how we develop the perception of light, through which we can overcome the sleepiness. So that the Buddha said to Venerable Moggallana, here, hey Moggallana, if you cannot overcome sleepiness in the previous way, you can try the developing the perception of light, or you can keep your eye open. Then you can make further effort to develop higher higher level of the knowledge. So then the Buddha continued, if the Moggallana, if you cannot overcome sleepiness, even though you develop the perception of light, then you may get up and walk. So when we walk, we have to know our foot, moving foot, like the right, left, and so on. And we should note it concurrently. Our awareness and the movement and the labeling must be concurrent. Only then can we develop the 5 mental faculties, saddha, faith, and effort, and mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. So these 5 mental factors are called controlling faculties, through which we can overcome the sleepiness. So when we develop the mindfulness, we can see the physical phenomena like tension, tightness, vibration, or pressure, lightness, heaviness, and so on. Every moment, different phenomena arising and passing away. Then we realize impermanence of the psychophysical phenomena. Then our faith in the Dhamma, our faith in the Buddha alarmingly increase. Or the Buddha, he taught the true Dhamma, our faith in the Buddha increases. And when we see the true phenomena, we can reduce mental defilements, kilesa. So the practice of the mindfulness meditation is really help us to overcome mental defilements. And these methods are bring down by the Sangha monks generation to generation. So we are very grateful to the Sanghas and the monks who bring down these Dhamma to our generation. So in this way we develop faith in the Buddha and Dhamma and Sangha. And then through the faith we make more effort. We become inspired and energetic. Thus we develop the viriya effort, the second mental faculties. So that to develop viriya, one advice is to get up and walk. And then we can overcome the sleepiness. When we are sleepy, we are swaying side by side, and our head nodding, and again, and so we get up and walk, and note our steps, rising, moving forward, and dropping mindfully. So Mahasi Sayadaw, according to the Buddha's teaching, instructed us to be mindful of the four postures, like the standing or going or sitting and so on. So all the time we should do our actions mindfully. So but when we are sleepy, we are advised to get up and walk. Here in the meditation center, we have perfect schedule, 1 hour sitting, 1 hour walking. But if we are really sleepy, we may get up and walk. That's a very good way to overcome the sleepiness. So far we have learned the 7 methods to overcome sleepiness. So the last one is walking. When we are sleeping, we have to walk. But even though we are walking, we may not overcome the sleepiness. Then what to do? The Buddha advised Venerable Moggallana. Moggallana, if you cannot overcome the sleepiness, even though you are walking, then you better go to bed. You go into your room and then take a rest, and like a lion posture, and then definitely you will overcome sleepiness. So you should not go to bed without mindfulness, just rolling side by side. You should sleep quietly and mindfully, noting lying, reclining, and so on. And then you should also set up the perception. I will develop mindfulness as soon as I wake up. So with that kind of the resolution, with the mindfulness, you should let yourself fall asleep. So here the yogis are supposed to follow the schedule and discipline at the TMC. So if you are really sleepy and you're going to overcome sleepiness even though you are walking, and the Buddha advised you to go to bed, but here you need to get permission from committee or TMC. So you must be very careful. So anyway, by following Buddha advice, Sayadaw wish you overcome the sleepiness and make further effort for higher knowledge. So as you know, the Venerable Moggallana has already attained the first stage of enlightenment. So he is a Sotapanna. But Sotapanna sleepy and nodding. So we ordinary yogis, no wonder we sleepy and nodding. So even the Sotapanna sleepy and nodding. So we are practicing to attain at least the first stage of enlightenment, Sotapanna stage. So we definitely encounter sleepiness and nodding, but we should not be discouraged from the practice. We just follow the advice given by the Buddha to overcome sleepiness. So in conclusion, Sayadaw wish you to overcome the sleepiness and develop higher level of the Vipassana insight. That's all for today.